And we are back from Nasdaq headquarters, and we are so ready to tell you everything that we've learned so far. For everything that went on at the closing bell ceremony, we had an amazing time. So shout out to all the influencers and the Tidal and YieldMax team. It was such a great event. I mean, everyone was just ecstatic that we're all there. It was just amazing and we all had a great time. But before we get into it, just want to give a shout out to Hector for the merch. He sent us out some t-shirts, jumpers, hats, etc. So let's get right into it and let's show you everything that we learned at the closing bell ceremony. So we didn't just show up, we actually got the scoop on exactly what's coming to Europe, and we also interviewed a couple of people while we was there. So let's get right into it. Interview highlights was Vince. He was the head of ETFs at YieldMax, and he has told us about some new funds that are coming. Also, we had talks about the existing funds also. So the existing funds that we've got was YMAG and MSTY. So we had quite a big talk about how well YMAG is doing, because at the time it was actually beating the QQQ. So we had a good conversation about the target yields, a consistent monthly income, what exactly do they want out of the fund, and the reason why it exists. And the reason why I wanted to go through this is because I think this one's going to be really good long term. And so far the payments have been 24%, and it's delivering huge monthly income. And that is tailored to income focused investors who still want to capture a bit of upside. And we did actually run through this. The target yield is actually 24%. So they are aiming to keep the yield at 24%. They did say if market sentiment moves or changes, then it may go down. If IV gets higher, then it may go up. But the target is around 20 to 24%, which is perfect for us. That's exactly what we want. We always said we wanted them funds around 20 to 30%. So this one is getting a higher allocation in my portfolio. MSTY, we spoke about MSTY. I actually spoke to the trader who's called Scott, which absolute amazing guy. He's been trading options for over 40 years on Chicago stock market floor. So this guy has got the unseen amount of knowledge, and it was really interesting talking to Scott. So MSTY isn't your typical set and forget strategy. This also goes for YMAG, which I'm going to dig a little deeper into a bit later. They are constantly tweaking the strategies for better performance. And the reason why I wanted to run through this is because we're using cover calls for regular premium income. They also use call spreads, and that's to reduce risk while capturing gains, which is absolutely great. It's working brilliant. And Scott's just got so much knowledge about options trading. And these are the kind of people that YieldMax were actually employing to do the options. So it was really good. We went into the YieldMax headquarters. We went to floor 10. We actually seen all the traders trading. We pulled them out of the offices and we had talks with them all. So they've actually got traders trading every single fund. This is not a passive strategy. These are real people trading real funds. Like YMAG, there was a guy called, I think his name's Alec, and we actually spoke to him. And he's the actual trader for YMAG only. In his job is to get the best return on that fund. Now, if that's not actively managed, then I don't know what is. So he also Scott confirmed that MSTY is a higher risk play, which we all know, but it is more actively managed than many competitors, and it's a real hands-on income play. And this guy's been trading for over 40 years on the Chicago floor. And instead of doing that, he's made his money now. He wanted to just take an easier job and run a fund, and that's what he does. MSTY is his fund, and he loves doing that, and he's done an absolutely great job so far. So let's get into the juicy things. Weekly income for UK/EU investors. This is one of the biggest community requests we put to Vince. Can we get weekly income in the UK like in the US? And here's the real reason it's not available just yet. The real reason is in America, they mainly operate between the Nasdaq and the New York Stock Exchange, making weekly income very smooth, using settlement systems, all centralized systems. But the problem is in Europe, we have fragmented exchanges. So we have the Deutsche Börse, we have Euronext, which is Paris, then we have London Stock Exchange, and there's loads of others across Europe. And this makes it very hard for the payment processing and the fund distribution. That makes it far more complex for the market makers and custodians. And we had a big talk about this, and this is the real problem. They even freaked out when they wanted to do a monthly. So that's probably why income shares had problems with the payments on monthlies as well. But YieldMax are actually working very hard. They're actively working to try and solve this. They're trying to, because they really want to bring some funds with weekly payments, not monthlies. But they're having real problems with regulations and all the systems for weeklies. So expect monthly payouts for now, but weekly income could arrive in the future as things get better, and they are constantly pushing for that. So when we did the presentation, Jay was talking about YieldMax's aim as a business and the strategy for the income funds, and the number one priority was always income. But on top of that, once we actually hit that income, the number two priority is capturing upside, and this is what gets a good total return. And each fund's got a dedicated trader, actively managed positions, like I've seen with my own eyes, which is absolutely amazing, getting the best total return for investors possible, which is great. They have institutional demand is surging also, where the big money is going into these YieldMax funds now. Backing advanced income strategies, now giving retail investors the chance too, which is absolutely great, and you can see it in the assets under management. If we just look at the assets under management of YieldMax, for example, it's 15 billion. I mean, that's absolutely huge. And then you've got Tidal, which hosts the funds for YieldMax, which are 40 billion, which is just crazy. I mean, the institutional money is now going into YieldMax, and the AUM is getting really, really big. So these funds are clearly working for institutional and retail investors. Otherwise, the AUM wouldn't be as high as that. So guys, let's get into the juicy. What is coming next by YieldMax? So we have two funds coming, and they are UCITS compliant income funds. And the reason I say that is because with UCITS compliant means there's going to be 0% withholding tax. These are not wrapped in an ETC like MSTY. So the first one is CHIPY, which is CHPY, which is a semiconductor income fund. Focus areas like Nvidia, AMD, etc. So far, it's had a 6-month total return of 33%, all within the market downturn. So this fund has done very, very good. 0% withholding tax. So for UK investors, 0% tax, 0% withholding tax. Ideal scenario for being inside an ISA for UK investors. And then the second one that's coming is LFGY, which is the crypto and tech income fund. It's got businesses in there like Coinbase, Palantir, high growth, high IV companies. So far, the total return has been 5%, but within that has been the market downturn where we've gone down minus 20, 25, 30%. So you have to take that into consideration. But even if you take that into consideration for CHIPY, I mean, it's still done 33% total return, which is absolutely crazy. Really, really big. Both are UCITS funds equals 0% withholding tax for UK investors. So even with the recent market downturn, these funds have still delivered some decent returns, and in CHIPY's case, a really good solid return. So the second interview I had was with Mike Venturo. He is the co-founder of Tidal, and he confirmed that in the future, baskets will be a thing. They will be UCITS compliant for tax efficiency. All baskets will be UCITS compliant, which is what we want. And he asked directly to the Cashflow King community, would you like an accumulating version of YM funds such as MSTY, YMAG, CHIPY? Would you like an accumulating version of these funds? Because in America they have accumulating version and a distributing version. So with the ACT version, dividends are auto-reinvested, so you just get the return. You don't see any dividends, it goes back into the fund, and then you get your return like that. And my answer was no. I don't think people will want that, but please drop your answers in the comments and let me know if that is something that you're interested in, because I can always go back to Mike and tell him, yes, the community is interested in this, no, they are not interested in this, etc. So I would really love to hear your thoughts on that. So we did a little deeper into YMAG and the reason why YMAG is holding underline and the reason why MSTY is in the ETC. And UCIT rules don't allow you can't hold ETFs in UCIT rules, so that's why YMAG holds underlying and then rights called on the underlying. And the reason they did this because they wanted to bring YMAX to start with, but it wasn't possible to hold ETFs of YieldMax. So what they did is they've made a YMAX style basket which has the underlyings of YMAX inside YMAG. So that is the reason why it is called YMAG, which I didn't know at the time. So that was great to find out. So It's all to stay in compliance with the UCITS brackets. So YMAG is actually a YMAX style basket with individual stocks. So it's nothing to do with BIGY. It's just similar kind of stocks. But it was great to find this kind of information out, which I wouldn't have found out without going to this event. So that was great. Single stock ETCs will still have withholding tax. So keep an eye out on that structure. So any single stocks that they bring through will be wrapped in the ETC, but any baskets will be within the UCITS compliancy. So all that being said, I think the baskets are going to do much better in Europe than the single stocks in my eyes. So final thoughts. Right guys, YieldMax is not messing about. These are very actively managed. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen the trading rooms. I've seen they've got a trader for every single fund out there, and these are high income machines, and they know how to get a return because they've been in the markets for many years, since 2022, and they've done things wrong and they've done things right, and they've learned from it. And I've seen this with my own eyes. They've got strong institutional backing and clear growth in assets under management. New UCITS funds like Chippy and LFGY opened the door for tech plus crypto income in the UK/Europe. This could be huge in how UK investors access monthly or even future weekly income in the future. I'll be doing a full breakdown of these as soon as they are available. We've got YMAG, MSTY, Chippy, LFGY in the next videos coming. So stay tuned and make sure you subscribe, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I will do my best to get some more videos out about everything we've learned, interviews, etc. on the channel as soon as I can, guys. So thank you, guys. See you in the next one.
Talk about Snowball. If you want 10% off Snowball, please use the promo code below and my link below, Cashflow King, to get 10% off. If you would like to use my pie so you can invest exactly the same as I do and the rest of the people who have also copied my pie, a lot of people have also pulled the trigger on this. If you want to join a Discord also with other like-minded investors, you can do that. Join our Discord, guys. Let's get talking.
Please remember to hit that like and subscribe button, guys, and also hit the notification bell to keep updated with future video. Thank you, guys, and I will see you in the next one.